so we should be live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Long Box Diving. I am D.
Jay.
I'm R today.
R today. Normally he's Ed. And we have Carl with us from Merry Boys. Carl, you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Carl. I do comic books. I live in the UK. What else is there to say? I've got a project called Merry Boys running on Indiegogo. Yeah, it's pretty much it.
So you like comic books? We had a nice little chat before we started. So you've been into comics for a long time, right? So it's something you kind of liked, since a kid.
Yeah. I grew up like with everybody. Actually now, to tell the truth, I'm actually meeting a lot more people now who say that they got into comics late. Whereas when I was growing up, it was just a staple. Every kid had comics bought for them by their parents, typically. Like you and I were saying early on, that was just the done thing. Grew up when kids comics, graduated to things that were a bit more adult, like 2000 AD, Judge Dredd's title, here in the UK, and explored American comics, various American comics. I had a superhero phase and indie comic, still pretty much in that indie comic phase. All sorts. I just love the medium. It's a great medium.
So which one do you like? Which kind of comic do you like best? Is superhero or mystery or the scary stuff, or what do you like the best?
I would say sci-fi and horror. That would be my stuff. Like if I really had, and also, but also definitely like a lot of okay, I guess Cerebus would be a kind of it started out sword and sorcery, but it kind of changed into something like a meta sort of drama. That I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Big fan of the old Vertigo titles from the 90s. Sandman, Hellblazer, Preacher. That's great. I love that stuff.
The Cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan I've read. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Some of the really like alternative mainstream stuff, like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Have you heard that?
I actually have not heard of that.
Really? It's have you heard of Invader Zim?
Yes. We have.
Yeah, it's the guy. It's the same guy who did Invader Zim. He had a comic published by Slave Labor in the 90s, and it's really good, really worth checking out. If you like Invader Zim, you'll definitely like. It's more adult than Invader Zim.
All right, write that down. Yeah, we're a big comic family. We got lots of comics. We love comics, and so we read everything from everywhere. But personally, I'm a team guy. So I've always been like the Avengers, the X-Men, the Justice League, all these different teams. I like the team ups over on Valiant where you had Eclipse and Ninja K and all that stuff. These team up type stuff. So Jay, what's your favorite?
I grew up Cable, Flash, superheroes.
Just Cable and Flash.
Yeah, I've grown into Doctor Strange and Deadpool.
Doctor Strange, Deadpool. Yeah, you dad humor. How about you, R? What was your?
Really the singular heroes like Flash. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody can hear you. You're talking so quiet.
Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think mostly his favorites kind of teeter on the movies. So I think a lot of his stuff that he likes is he saw it in a movie, and Dad made him read it, so it's kind of a thing like that. And so we were actually looking over your Indiegogo. Let me put this on the screen here. And we were looking over this, and we wanted to know what inspired you to write this.
Well, it's kind of like I started out with. I'm also a fan of Ninja Turtles, especially the first few issues. I really love that, and later on when they did City of War, the City of War storyline with Jim Lawson, And the later phase, that really just, I love that. I love the initial grittiness of that comic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. And I kind of wish that it would have just retained some of that. It was quite like brutal, quite dark stuff, but at the same time it was quite cartoony on the outside. So I wanted to do something like that, but I wanted it to be British. So I took almost like
Ninja Turtle.
kind of, yeah. Well, that's the basic blueprint. That was just an idea. That was just the seed of the idea, but then it quickly turned into something quite different. So I would take things that would have to have all these British references. I mean, I'm really into British humor, British sitcoms. So there's quite a few references that's thrown in as a kind of staple of British humor that I try and translate with the comic books. Let's see, and yeah, it's it is what it is. It's almost like that's the basic idea, but I just filled it up with things that I really like. I've always loved the Catholic aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
I've always loved Gothic architecture, and the Knights Templar mythos. So I kind of put those together in a much sort of in like a punk sort of way. They're all from a small backwater English town, with no money, low, lots of unemployment, lots of social problems, but they've got this Knights Templar ethos. And I thought, okay, so who's going to be their splinter? So I decided, okay, it's going to be some gnarly old priest guy who's almost like he's almost like a Peter Steele character.
This guy right here.
Yeah, that's him.
Nice.
So what happened with him is, the town basically went backward when a big corporation moved in, opened up a lot of shops and just killed off the high street. So nobody had any jobs and things just went down the toilet. So one day he was going to his church and somebody tried to rob him, and the robbery turned ugly and they shot him. So they shot him in the head. He went into a coma, and he had this past life regression to where he was a member of the Order of the Knights Templar back in the 13th century. And so he comes out of that and he decides he's going to clean up the town, and he finds the four boys and he trains them up in these fighting arts that he recalls from a previous life. So that's the basic sort of plot outline. And this is the first 2 issues, and that covers the origin story and sets out the main characters, sets out what's happened to their town, what they need to do, etc.
Yeah, we were actually looking over this. I think you mentioned that, right, Jay?
Yeah, I saw the influence from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, we were looking at it. It's like, yeah, this kind of looks like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but British and a little bit different. I think you mentioned the British humor. He was catching on some of the joke stuff back there.
All right.
But I saw this, the 4 of them in the boot. I'm like, to me that looks cool, and kind of creepy, honestly, but it looks cool.
It is quite dark. It's I'd say if I had to pick a genre, it's dark humor, black humor. That's what it is. I mean, moments of levity here and there, but yeah, it's in I guess it would probably be an acquired taste for most people.
We see the cricket bats and the boots.
Yeah.
So yeah, why the cricket bats?
Well, because it's Great Britain.
Yeah.
It's a national sport.
It's a national.
So I thought I'd go with that. And also, well, in later stories, you reveal they've actually got swords in the cricket bats.
Really?
So the shape is right for that.
So it works like a sheath and then a a sheathed weapon, but also a sword. That's cool, and I like the outfits there. Remind me of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar crest, right?
Yeah.
Is that what we were going for there?
That's right, and it also looks almost like a football shirt, because football's obviously quite big here. So it's got those. It's almost that sort of mashup, how it would actually look if a bunch of kids from a very poor neighborhood just thought, okay, we're Knights Templars now. We don't have all the money for armor, for the proper stuff. What would you use? You'd use household implements, and things that you would find around the neighborhood.
Is there
It's almost like
is there a main villain, or
a main villain? Well, it's the in this and from the outset, it's the police, stopping them from going out and being vigilantes, basically. But I've got a whole host of villains to do in the following issues.
Nice, and the art's fantastic. Did you draw all this, or do you have an artist?
It's all me, one man band.
Wow, look at you. So have you been drawing for a while? Is this something you just picked up recently, or is something you've been doing for a while?
I've just been doing it for a while, long time, many years. Ever since, I've just can't remember a time I haven't been drawing.
Nice. So, what made you decide to do a book now?
It's because of this crowdfunding revolution. I mean, I did a book before a few years ago, and I had that published in the US by SLG Publishing. But yeah, it just kind of didn't really get any sort of momentum. And then I decided, with this whole with the emergence of Comicsgate and crowdfunding and all that, I found with this kind of story that I want to tell, that's the kind of audience that I would like to attract anyway, and I think a lot of indie publishers, the way they are now, wouldn't publish a story like this, because it doesn't tick all the right boxes for them, or they will try and change my story, which is not really acceptable for me. So I want that sort of control with crowdfunding.
Yeah, it's your story. It's something you want to tell. Jay, you had something you want to say?
Well, yeah, especially in America, right? Where we get very few things from Britain, like Monty Python and Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's like if we think of British shows, we're thinking Monty Python or Doctor Who, or Top Gear, right? So we're kind of limited on what we even know about it. So I find that very interesting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's it. I don't. That's. I think that's a bit of a, So to me, it's a bit of a shot in the dark, because I don't know. Because obviously it is. I want this to appeal to an American audience as well, but I don't know how much exposure there's actually been. If I throw in okay, to start by saying the references aren't that obscure, and I was actually thinking for some of the lingo, just putting in like a page with explanatory notes. If for example, on one of those pictures, I've got a big sign saying no chavs. Chav is basically like your I guess the equivalent of what would you say, a redneck, or not really a redneck. It's a townie, or a like a hoodlum, a thug.
A thug, yeah.
Yeah, something like it. But it's quite well known in the UK. So you'll have them in the towns and all that, and they cause all sorts of trouble. But of course, an American wouldn't pick up on that necessarily. So I was thinking of some sort of glossary.
I was actually going to ask you what that meant, because that's not something I would have picked up. Yeah, I figured it was a hoodlum, but he looks like he's wearing a tracksuit.
Yeah, they do. And trainers, they wear sports gear and sports shoes. They don't do any sports. Just hang around, drink cheap alcohol, and sniff glue and rob people.
Looks like we got some of those in, I think, the Jersey Shore, right?
They're just like...
Yeah, I think that's a Jersey Shore thing here in America.
All right, okay. Got a connection.
So, yeah, I mean, I noticed they're all bald. Is there something I'm missing there? Is that intentional, or is it like a mutation of some sort, or is something going on there, or is that just an aesthetic that you chose?
No, they do have a birth defect. They have it's almost like Michael Berryman from The Hills of Eyes.
Yes,
that actor. They have something similar, just the way they look. If I had to draw them in real life, they would look something like Michael Berryman.
Okay.
With big hands, big feet. They don't grow any hair. They got cleft palates. And the thing is, because of that's where the mutant turtle thing comes in. Instead of being mutants, they do have this birth defect. Now it affects the way they look, but it also endows them with a strange metabolism. So when they drink beer, they actually get stronger and faster.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like their superpower. I mean, so it's like.
Have you ever heard of Popeye?
Oh well, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
So it's like their spinach. So beer is their spinach.
Yeah, that's it. I was actually thinking if I was going to do like a joke sort of pin up of them all looking like Popeye but dressed like them with baseball bats, and the spinach can will look like a can of lager. Yeah.
Yeah, or even have like a Popeye picture behind them, and they're all standing in front of it. So you would get the reference as they're drinking beer, and he's got the spinach can. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I see a lot of these guys are all wearing those sports outfits and trainers and whatnot, and they're running from the cops. So it looks good. Now the Catholic aesthetic there, is that play prominently in the story, or is it just the Knights Templar piece?
It's a bit of both, because I mean, it's not directly Knights Templar, because at that point the Catholic Church was the only church. It had its own. It was actually quite a mixed. There are a lot of things that they had that hasn't been transferred into modern Catholicism. So it's something that I've incorporated. It's kind of like a theme that runs through it, because there's what happens basically is they see apparitions of the Virgin Mary, which kind of guides them to their targets. Like if you every now and again you will see a story of the Virgin Mary appearing in the shape of a cloud, or in curdled milk, or in the bark of a tree, or something. It's something similar like that. Yeah, but it appears in places where they're going to strike.
And so does the old guy? You talk about the old guy went back in time, came back, or kind of had a time thing where he thought he became a Knights Templar for a while and then came back. Is he so he's like their splinter? Does he actually help them out, or is he just like back at the base? Or
yeah, that's it. No, he raised them and he trained them.
And these are orphans.
Yeah, that's it. That's part of the story. Where he finds them. He finds them in a dumpster, essentially.
So the 4 quadruplets.
Yeah.
And he trains them to be Knights Templar. That's crazy. I like that. You have a question, Ethan?
No, but I really like the way the art was done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cartoony, but it's very pretty good. The anatomy's all right.
Yeah, looks good, huh?
Oh, thank you. I don't know if you read Will Eisner, but I'm a massive fan of Will Eisner, Jack Davis, and those guys, and I draw a lot of inspiration from them. So if you like this, you should just definitely check out the real guys, the real legends. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah.
I think he's Googling it now. So right now you're at this was a 30-day. When did you start? About it says 30 days left. So how long ago did you start? 30 days ago, or
1st of September.
Oh, so not that long ago.
No, it's doing all right, I think. I thought give it 6 weeks and just see what happens. I can always extend it by another 2 weeks if I really had to. Yes, it's my first crowdfunder, so I'm just feeling around in the dark, just seeing what happens and hoping for the best.
Yeah, exactly. And so I looked some of the stretch goals we got here. We got an original sketch tier. So with this, we're talking about you get an original sketch that comes with it.
Yeah. It's almost like a convention sketch, but you get to just let whoever they just need to let me know which character they want. It can be their own character if they doing a comic. And it's on A5. You guys have got different paper sizes than us. It's about. So let me just demonstrate. I think it's the best. So that's my head. A5 is about that big. There we go.
Not bad. Yeah, that's a good size.
Yeah, and do it on Bristol board. So nice heavy paper.
So if we get to the 10,000 of these sketches, that's a lot of drawing.
Yeah.
But you'd be happy with it, right?
Yeah, I'm limiting it to 30 because I think my wrist will just give in by that point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at he's like 10,000 drawings.
I know. I've had well, no.
A lot. So we have a digital and the digital premium. What's the difference between the two?
I did a graphic novel before with slave labor, and that'll be that graphic novel in PDF form.
All right, so you got the digital basic is just this one, Mary Boys.
That's it. So the next one is just adding that the older graphic novel.
So you get 2 books.
Yep.
For the $10. That's not bad. And then we got some print issues, and we got print and 3 art prints. So what are we talking about with the art prints? Is that the same as what you were drawing, or is that extra?
That's bigger. That's twice the size of what I was drawing. So it's that big, and
Nice.
and it'll be the prints that you see scrolling down.
Nice.
The babies in the boot, the chavs, one in color, and them sitting at the Trafalgar line.
The line. See, I really actually like that line one. Them sitting there with their hoods up.
Yeah.
You know, and the looks like they got holes in their jeans.
Yeah.
I really did like that. I liked it a lot.
Ah, thank you. It's like from an idea from a stories to come where they go to London to look for somebody. So that's from Trafalgar Square.
And so this is the other one that'd be a print, the boot.
Yep.
When I first saw it, the first thing that popped in my mind was the old lady that lived in a shoe. I don't know if you ever heard that nursery rhyme.
Yeah. Mother Goose, I think, is it?
Yeah, I think so. That was my first thought. I was like, wow. And now the crosses on their forehead, is symbolizing something, or is that just?
Yeah, it's a reference to Christianity, to Catholicism specifically.
So like the cross on the forehead.
Yeah, it was an artistic addition. I thought it would be good. That they're blessed. Despite being born into the means that they are, that they are blessed, and they have something.
That's cool. Yeah. I like that. And then the no chavs. This is to be the 3rd print. And so how old are they right here?
I'm thinking 14, 15. I know I'm going to get caught by the underage drinking crowd. People going, "You're depicting kids drinking alcohol." You know,
I remember when I went to school, they wanted to take my history teacher wanted to take us to Ireland, and they actually had to have our parents sign a permission slip for us to drink alcohol while we were there. Because she told us, now I don't know how true it is, but she told us that it was the only cold drink you would get would be beer. That drinks don't come with ice per se. I don't know.
No. That's like. I mean, you'll get lager, which is cool now because lager. Lager is traditionally drunk cold, but if you're going to be drinking an ale, that will be warmer. Not quite room temperature, but it will be warmer. That's just the way it's drunk. And you could drink from the age of 16. If you go walk into a British pub. And you're 16 years old, you can have a beer with your meal. I think that's the current law. So you can do that, and then from 18 you can drink, and that's it. Well, what is it in the States? It's 21 or what's the?
It's definitely 21. Now, it's 21 to buy it. It's 21 to buy it anywhere in a store or any restaurant. But of course, what you do at your own home. That kind of stuff, but it's still, it's definitely frowned upon. These guys are still underage. All right, so then we have a print deluxe patch tier. So is this like a sew-on patch, like something would go on or a sticker, or?
Yeah. It's because I thought that would be a good addition because it's got this punk aesthetic. That like a punk. It's the logo that I have on the front of the comic, but in black and white. So it'll be on a black background, white foreground. Just to sew onto your jacket.
Make it open.
Yeah. So that. Yeah.
That one, right. Which is
that's it. But... Yeah, that looks a bit bigger than that.
Let me see if I can zoom this up here. So with better resolution, but that would be on a sticker or are we talking like a patch you put on your
A
gun?
patch, an embroidered patch.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it feels very much like punk rebel.
Yep. Yeah, I can see some dude or some lady wearing a old Vietnam type army coat, right, with the patch on the arm or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
I'm doing it for me because I've got a jacket that needs patches, and I thought that would be cool. Just doing one isn't worth it, so I thought I'll do a whole bunch of them to make it worth it, and put it on as a perk. So there you go.
And then we have the original tier, original interior art tier. So are we talking about all the art in the book, or just something special like that?
That's a page. Yeah, you get to pick a page, and you get all the perks in the lower tier. So you get all the comics, all the digital files, the patch, the drawing, and you get a page.
Nice. Nice. I like it. So this is going on for another 30 days, and
yep.
It looks fantastic, man.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, we're just feeling around, just trying to figure out. I think the next time I do this, I'll have a much better idea of how to promote, and the network will be better. And there's so many little things that I just didn't know that was drawn to my attention after I'd launched, and there was just no other way I would have paid attention to it beforehand. So I think if you guys are going to be doing doing a campaign in the future, just do it. After you feel that you've got your audience, just launch it and just shoot from the hip.
Yeah, see what happens. And we're that's why I like these. I can watch and look at what some other people are doing, what they've got, the tiers that they're doing, what kind of things are they given, and how getting on the shows and talking, how they're answering the questions. We're taking notes back here for ourselves. Going, okay, how would we explain this? If this is a question I would ask, how would I answer it? And looking at this stuff, of course, like I said, we like comic books, so just reading something like this looks fantastic to me. I like the idea of the story. We are Jay and I are fantasy nerds as well. The four of us play D&D, things of that sort. So the whole Knight Templar aesthetic really appeals to me. Having the swords in the cricket stick, cricket bat, that kind of stuff appeals to me. It looks really good. I like it, and I hope you do well. I hope it keeps growing for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I guess you would describe it as an urban fantasy as well. Yeah, like a lo-fi, very lo-fi sort of fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we got 4 Ninja Turtle-like with superpowers, Popeye superpowers. Of course, I'm totally butchering your description, but that's how it's going in my head, and that honestly sounds cool. I mean, you think Ninja Turtles with Popeye, they eat pizza, they got stronger. That's not how it actually happened, but that would be cool to me. And so you kind of took all that thing and put it together, and I like it. It looks good.
I think that's the formula to doing something that's I don't know. I just took everything that I like and I chucked it, and I found ways of drawing it, because because I think I'm primarily an artist who writes. So and I just had to do it for me, and in that frame of mind, things I wouldn't mind drawing over and over and over and over again, and finding new ways to combine. I think that's the way I approach this.
And that's something we've talked about in our reviews. Is we like the art to tell the story. I mean, it's a visual medium, and we like the art to tell the story. I mean, the word bubbles are there to explain some things and make that logical leap, or for transitions from a scene to scene. But for most part, like even looking at this, I can tell what just happened. They just knocked the snot out of everybody in this room, and probably with their cricket bats, were wearing their football jerseys that look like Knight Templars. And I think one of them is drinking a beer. So I don't know how that ties in, but I'm pretty sure it does somewhere. But I mean, and I didn't have to read everything. I kind of get that, and I like how you've done that. And that to me appeals to me. So I don't know about you guys. Yeah, Jay. Jay's sitting back to be quiet.
Sorry, there's a delay on my hearing.
Oh yeah. He's streaming, so he's got the little lag. But I say kudos to you for that. I think you're on the right track there, man.
Yeah, that's really good because I mean, like you kind of, it's like a very private sort of thing that you do, and you launch it, and you don't really know. I mean, I have my wife looking at this, and she goes, "Yeah, that's nice," and whatever. But you really only know when you show it to people who actively are into the stuff and reads comics. And okay, my wife does read comics now, but still, it's nice to hear it from people on the outside who have a look and can give you an honest sort of assessment.
And again, it is what you like, and you are bearing, in a sense, you're bearing your soul here. This is you, in a book, right?
Yeah.
So, and you want people to see it, you want people to like it, and you definitely want people to buy it because there's nothing wrong with making money, and it all looks fantastic to me. So hopefully, everybody that's watching or will be watching later, I hope you go here to the Indiegogo campaign. It's Merry Boys, and I hope you back it. He's 43% funded there with 30 more days, and it's got some good tiers on here. I kind of like the patch tier myself. I don't really have a code, so I may have to buy a code just to put a patch on it. It's rough. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on with us, spending time with us, talking about your comic.
Oh, thanks very much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Just at the moment, I'm just trying to get the word out, and everybody, and I really appreciate everybody pitching in. Like I was originally supposed to be on John Malin's stream, but he got something happened to his channel. He got I don't know what happened. I think he got a copyright strike or whatever. And it was just great to see everybody pitch in. Like he put the word out saying, here are three or four creators. They were meant to come onto my stream. They've all got live projects. Can you host them? And the response was just great. I've got this whole week full of people who've invited me on their show, and it's great to see that.
I felt bad. I'm like, I only got 40 subscribers right now, and it may not be worth your time, but I'll put it out there. If you'd like to join us, we like to talk about it.
No, it's great. No. Look, it's I mean, I'm confident this is going to grow, and people go back and look at your older videos, and no. I mean, I wouldn't turn anybody down. It's great. I get to talk about my comic. I mean, you don't have to host me. It's a privilege.
I also do like the fact that, by reading this, I'll probably pick up a little bit more on British culture. And I think you probably should sell that as a selling point. Hey, you want to learn a little bit about British culture, this is the comic you need to be reading. We had, a lot of the British writers that came over, a while ago and started writing a lot of DC and Marvel stuff. But it seemed to me, a little bit Americanized. I didn't recognize anything that was British culture in it that struck me as odd. So it'd be nice to read something that say, hey, this is, I can learn a little bit about some other culture by reading this. I'll have, and the list of descriptions for different words would be fine, but I think honestly, I'd probably Google it and go, what does this mean? And that I would actually, I'm a little weird, so I may actually find that a little interesting. It's like, okay, I got to figure out what this means and go Google it myself. But yeah, I think that's a good selling point, in my opinion, is the fact that you are putting a lot of, a little bit of that British culture in there and different words that I'd have to go look up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I remember that Love and Rockets, they did that with Spanish, because they used to use a lot of Spanish slang and Spanish terms and things, and then they'll have the little explanatory note at the bottom of the page for the benefit of the gringos who read their comics. I always appreciated that.
Or maybe like those little old editor notes.
Yeah.
Like see Spider-Man such and such,
Yeah.
footnote type thing. Chav, is that Chav, right?
Yeah.
Put it down.
But on the other hand, this is all long before the internet, where people could just look stuff up. So I'm kind of in two minds about it. Back then I guess you really needed something.
Yeah, you would have to somebody tell you. Yeah.
Do you know what a cholo is or whatever?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, nowadays it's like just, hey, Siri, what does this word mean? And you have it like that.
Yeah. That's it.
I appreciate you coming on. I guess we've talked about most everything we want to talk about, unless you had something else you want to bring up.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Got to get to bed. It's late. Got to go to work tomorrow. So
Yeah, I was looking at. I think he's starting like at 10 o'clock at his time. So we may just go ahead and rapid fire questions, get to his book, and let him get to sleep because I know it's a lot later over there than it is over here. So I'm over here in Florida, so it is definitely not that late right here. So
yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm going on somebody's show from Boulder, Colorado, and I think I'm 7 hours ahead of that, so that's gonna be interesting. I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I won't pass it up.
Extra coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, Carl, I appreciate it. And thanks
Yeah.
everybody for joining us. And take a look at his Indiegogo. If you like it, back it, and give this a chance. It looks really good. Any closing statements, Jay?
No. Good luck.
No dad joke, nothing.
No, not today.
Oh, come on, crack one for me. Come on.
How about that? Yeah, he does that in all his reviews too. Anything left? You need? No.
No, it was really good
Thumbs up.
from what I saw. Yeah.
Thumbs up. All right, Carl, we appreciate it. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next time here on Logbox.
Cool. All right, DJ. Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right,
Speak
thanks for
soon
coming.
again.
Bye.
Bye bye.